Next up is sprite fonts. My explanation, oh my gosh, I don't know what I just said. But sprite fonts, you gave us the sprite font file. We had to fill in a few things here. So for instance, we have to load from the texture manager the Tiger, the TGA file, and then we from our this is basically getting the fonts from a both an XML file and a TGA file. So we get the TGA file to make sprites out of it. So when we call get here, we get the font textured, so we have access to the sprite page. And then the XML here, we create, we associate the image with the character. So here we, for instance, have um, our load image, and so we have the we create a new image using the texture, so that's the whole picture, and then we create a new rectangle which is given to us through the XML parser, and we're able to basically create little rectangles from our texture. So after we have all that information, we create a sprite with it, and then we set our sprite information and insert that into our font map, which will be basically just a bunch of, it'll be a map of keys and glyphs or surreal sprites. So it'll be just a map um, of letters and symbols. So over here, when we get glyph, we just return the font map at that key. And then for our font manager, we have a pointer, we have a singleton. I'm so sorry, I think I'm getting tired. And here, this is very similar to our asset managers. I think we actually might have seen this earlier, if I'm not mistaken, but I'll just go through it quickly. So again, we have our load and our get, our delete, and our, which is very, very similar to our other asset manager. We can go ahead and go through sprite string here too. So sprite string creates has a collection of surreal sprites, or glyphs as we called them before. So this will be a string of sprites. So it'll be just a list of sprites. So what we do here is we take our string, and then we get the associated glyph to that character, that key, and then we insert that glyph into our list. We calculate the height, which would be static throughout each character, and then the I think it'd be static, and then we get the overall width of the string. So then in our render, we have we go through the list of glyphs that we have, or sprite strings. We take the position that we first are given, right? So the user gives us a position that it wants the string to be, and then we add the width of our glyphs to make a string, and it's pretty cool. Although I wasn't able to use it, so it was pretty cool, but I didn't finish it. ScreenLog we can go through as well. Might be a long video, but I'm feeling it. So in our tools, we have our ScreenLog. So our ScreenLog here has an add function which takes a variable amount of strings, and then we do have a limit of in our array of the size of that string. So here, what we do is we grab the variables, we read the variables that we have, and we enter them into a enter them into the array that we created earlier. And so when we render it, um, this is taking the sprite. So we were creating a sprite from the glyphs that we have, and then we're setting their position. It's very similar to what we were doing earlier um, in the sprite string, except it's a log. So it's a little easier. I wasn't able to use this either, so throw my points. But on to the next.